In this video, we're going to be using the quadratic formula to solve quadratic equations. If you want to know more where that comes from, look at our video where we use completing the square to help us with this. As a reminder, the quadratic formula gives us a solution x, where minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that's for an equation of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Let's look at our first example. 2x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0. In this example, a equals 2, b equals 4, and c equals minus 5. We've got to be careful to include that negative out in front. So let's use our quadratic formula. And for this, we're going to substitute these three values. So minus 4, I'm going to use brackets just to show where we've substituted, plus or minus the square root, 4 squared, minus 4 lots of 2 multiplied by negative 5. And this is all divided by 2 lots of 2. Now we can work this out by hand, or we can use a calculator. We use the calculator once for when it's a positive, and once for when it's a negative outside of the root. So, if we have it as a positive, as a plus sign here, x is going to give you 0.8708286934. If we were to round that to 3 decimal places, it would be 0.871. I think it's good practice if you write out everything on your calculator in that first line and then round in your second. On the other hand, if we use the negative part here, we get x to equal minus 2.870828,693. And if we round to 3 decimal places, we minus 2.871. Again, we've written out exactly what's on our calculator in the first line, and then we've rounded in the second. Let's have a look at another example. This time we've got 4x squared plus 4x plus 1 equals 0. We look at our a, b, and c. A equals 4, b equals 4, and c equals 1. Again, we can put this into our quadratic formula. Minus 4 plus or minus the square root, 4 squared, minus 4 times by 4 times by 1, all over 2 lots of 4. Now before we put it in the calculator, let's just look at one thing quickly. Let's look inside this square root. And what we notice is 4 squared is 16, and 4 times 4 times 1 is also 16. So straight away we notice that if we've got 16, subtract 16, it's going to be 0. What this means is when we do our calculation, we're going to have minus 4 plus or minus 0 over 8. So we're going to end up with just a single solution of minus a half, or minus 0.5 as a decimal. This is what's called as repeated roots. In our first example, we had 2 solutions that were different. Here we've got one solution repeated twice.